Alright, so next thing we're going to talk about is lineup selection. So the first lineup we're going to talk about is World Boss. So I'm going to click on World Boss, and as you can see, um, the top two are pretty much the main lineups that are used. The second one is the main lineup that's used across the most servers, with Caelyn being your main damage doer and with everyone else basically supporting her damage. So I'll show you what this looks like when you're setting up your lineup. So we already talked about hero selection and doing your hero club. So here I have all my heroes, right? And my top ones are leveled up. What I did for this is I'm going to show you the main heroes that I use in my lineup that have all of my major equipment on them, right? So my main lineup here is Son of War. I use Cantor and Natasha. I don't use Vivian. I use Marlin, Daisy, right, and Caelyn. So that's my main lineup, and those are the people that currently have my main equipment. So whenever you're doing any specific event, the best thing to do is to go through. You're going to remove the equipment from the heroes that you're not using. All right. Now, you don't necessarily have to do this. The artifacts are the most important part, but from what I've noticed, it does play an effect. So now I'm going to equip my equipment, all right, to my World Boss lineup. So I'm going to use Caelyn, right? I'm going to use Simone. I'm going to equip her with Thunder Engraving for the healing. We're going to use Lola. It doesn't really matter what she gets, but I'm just going to throw Thunder Legacy on her. Use Midnight Voice. Just going to throw Microstar Collapse on him. I'm going to use Alien Kid. All right, I'm going to keep her with the Everwonder Melody. And then also we're going to use Rika the Dawn Geisha. Right, and I'm just going to throw Frost Legacy on her, right, for a little bit of extra tankiness. Right, so now I'm going to go attack the World Boss. All right, and now I'm also going to have to move some of my heroes around from the lineups that I use. All right, so we're going to pull Son of War from here, right, and Leaf Spirit from here. And now we're going to remove these characters that I don't want. And we're going to use, all right, Simone, all right, and also, sorry, Alien Kid. All right, I'm going to use Alien Kid. So this is kind of what the typical lineup looks like that people are using. Like I said, some people use Dawnbreaker instead, but I've found just like you see with Dumpster here, that Alien Kid actually provides a little more damage for my team or lineup. Now before on Hero, I actually used Son of War with Caelyn, and I didn't use Alien Kid or Dawnbreaker, but ever since this last update, it seemed to have broke my damage on the World Boss for some reason. And here in a second, I'll show you that lineup that I used to use, which actually works in. Alright, so you can see here I didn't do a whole lot of damage. It is random, right, because using Caelyn gets based off of her critical hits, and then it also gets based off the number of follow-ups she does, right, is kind of what makes it more powerful. Now you can see here in Boss Trial, I already did it, right, but you can see the damages here. And this is the lineup that I use in Boss Trial. I use Son of War, right, instead. And I'll just skip through this. You can see this is how I have this set up, and this consistently did before they broke it with resetting it or bugged or whatever. My damage on World Boss, I was doing almost 2 trillion with that lineup. But whenever they updated it, for some reason that lineup was only doing about 250 billion, even though in World Boss it's still doing the most damage for the server. So I'll set this a couple of times and you can kind of see that's how you're going to adjust your lineup for World Boss. And then once you finish World Boss, right, I'll let it hit. And then I'll go back. And then what I'll do next is I'll actually show you, right, so I have Global Manhunt. Today is the Fauna Special Forces. Right, so I kind of do the same thing with my Special Forces lineup. So I'll go here. All right, I'll take those heroes that had the equipment on them. Remove that equipment. All right, so I have my equipment there. Then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to switch it to my fauna lineup. And I'm just going to do the same thing. So I'm going to swap around, just using artifacts and equipment here for my main heroes. 3, 4, right, 5, 6. Okay, so that's the final lineup, and then I'll do the same thing. I'll go to my Global Manhunt, right, and I'll just skip through the battles. Now, sometimes it'll come up with defeat, right? Sometimes you can just, when you're using skip battle, you can just use RNG to just keep spamming through until you defeat it. You know, sometimes what you'll want to do is you want to go in and you'll readjust where people are set up in the lineup, you know, and other things like that. Sometimes somebody will get stunned if they're in a certain spot more often than another. And one way you can look at that is you just take up skip battle and you can see where people are in the lineup, right? And then how they're getting affected by different hits. The fauna one is kind of hard to do because there's not any champions that have good CC, right? This is a lineup where Raging Shark is really good in and some other champions, but I just wanted to show you what switching gear looks like. So that's it for this video.